Hi. There was a knock on my door the other day, so very generously I answered it. And there was a guy standing there, and he was sucking his lips in, he was doing that, and he said, "I also do," and he came up with a great list of the services that he was offering. And I said, "What do you mean you also do? You haven't said what your main service is yet." It was pretty obvious he'd been door to door and basically been rejected, and he was getting fed up. He had that look of total fed up all over him, and so he was doing this, and it turned out that he was offering a knife sharpening service. So I didn't really help his mood, because I said, "What? You want me to hand over my kitchen knives to you so that you can stab me, push past me, rampage and pillage my house, murder my children? Is that it?" And he was taken aback, and he walked away shaking his head, got in his van and drove off, and I don't think we've seen hide nor hair of him since. I was of course only joking, but it gets rid of salesmen. Concerts that I have witnessed recently. Well, AC/DC were pretty good, loud, and yeah, AC/DC. In total contrast, in a rather classical mode, were the choir of St. John's College, Cambridge, who were men and boys from the Catholic chapel there. Classical choral music, which is very good when you're in the right mood. And in a similar vein, but also a bit of a contrast, Libra, which is the boys' choir from South London, and they have taken the classical choral into the New Age scene and made it a lot more accessible, really. One of the contrasts, apart from the style of music, one of the contrasts between the two choirs, when you watch the St. John's College choir, or numerous choirs from chapels, they stand there with the book in front of them, so they've got the words there, and they just sort of stand there, really, and sing. Which is okay, it's fine, because you've got to listen to the music more than anything else. But Libra, they have a few routines, they move with the music, and they never use books, so they learn all the lines, and when you watch them carefully, occasionally you might see one of them slightly slip up on the words of a song, but recover very quickly because they're highly trained, they're very professional, and some of them are only 7 years old. But the atmosphere that they create is awesome and magical. And if you've never seen Libra in concert, you don't have to be into classical choral music. You don't really have to be in New Age. They've got a certain something of their own. So they're worth checking out. If you see them advertised somewhere performing near you, then go give them a try. When you go into restaurants, they can be interesting places. You can have interesting experiences. You can have frustrating experiences. Like when, well, not really frustrating, but there was this occasion when Harvey's eyes were drawn to somebody on the next table. I had looked to see why he was staring, and he was staring rather intently, full of curiosity and interest. And the lady on the next table was rather large. I don't mean she was large all over, just in a certain area. She had rather large breasts. And of course, 9-year-olds tend to be fairly interested in that kind of thing, but not for the same reason that some older people are. Anyway, he was staring, so I give him a swift kick under the table. "Stop it!" And he looks away, and they're still waiting for the food, and his eyes are drawn back there, and hey, and he attempts to not stare, and yet even when the food's arrived, he's taking a bite, and he's having a look, and he's taking a bite, and I'm wondering, what on earth is he thinking? And the woman at the next table is beginning to notice this child staring at a certain part of her anatomy, and she tries to ignore him. Anyway, thankfully, she finishes her meal and she gets up to leave. And Harvey watches her standing up, watches her walk along, leans over to me, while she can still hear us. "Do you think those are real?"